Human Nutrition and the Digestive System by Leah Jones. The digestive system functions by ingestion, digestion, absorption and defecation. It also functions by maintaining the construction and replacement of cells that are constantly dying. The buccal cavity consists of the lips, teeth, hard palate, soft palate, retromolar trigone, tongue, gingiva, uvula, tonsils, buccal mucosa, and the floor of the mouth. The salivary glands consist of three pairs: the parotid, submandibular, and the sublingual. These work by secreting saliva to start the digestive process. They will pour saliva into the mouth, which will consist mostly of water and palatin. Saliva contains mucin and calcium salts. The salivary glands will lubricate the mouth and tongue. Lubricated food breaks starch into dextrins and maltose, dissolving the stimulation portion of the food, and cleans the oral cavity. The esophagus is a muscular tube with a sphincter at both ends containing longitudinal muscles, circular muscles and lumen. It enables the transport of nutrients to the stomach. Food isn't absorbed here but is swept through in peristaltic waves into the stomach. These perform involuntarily, and when food is not being passed in, they collapse. The sphincter and both ends act as valves and are closed between eating and drinking. The upper sphincter opens after swallowing so that it passes on to the esophagus, and the lower one, named the gastroesophageal sphincter, stops the action of acid reflux returning into the esophagus. The stomach contains three layers: the innermost that produces acid to break down food into smaller parts. The stomach contains numerous muscles which will transport the food into the stomach so that the stomach enables partial digestion of the food. The substance which is made is called chyme, and that passes through the small intestine. Pepsin breaks down proteins within the stomach, and other acids and enzymes are released for chemical breakdown. The liver contains four unequal size and shape. The liver is connected to the hepatic artery and the portal vein. The hepatic artery carries blood rich with oxygen from the aorta, and the portal vein carries rich blood in nutrients from digestion of the gastrointestinal tract. The blood vessels subdivide into capillaries called the liver sinusoids, which lead to the lobules. Each lobule is made up of hepatic cells held together by fibroelastic connective tissue layers. It is covered in a serous coat from peritoneum and has an inner fibrous coat which adheres. The liver produces bile, a mixture of water, bile salts, cholesterol and bilirubin. The hepatocytes produce the bile, which passes through the bile duct into the gallbladder. The bile duct allows travel of the bile to the duodenum, where it blends the fat. These processes are utilised so that fat pieces have more surface area and thus easier to digest. The gallbladder is pear-shaped and functions by storing the enzyme bile. It is part of the biliary tract and stores bile that isn't necessary for digestion. Food will enter the small intestine through the bile duct in the process of breaking up fats. It also enables waste products from the liver to the duodenum to be drained. The pancreas is two glands which are considered organs. It is composed of exocrine cells that make up enzymes in order to digest food. The enzymes released will create the main pancreatic duct, which runs the length of the pancreas and will drain fluids produced by those exocrine cells. The pancreas also helps control blood sugar levels, and the enzymes produced in the pancreas further break down the food in the small intestines. The pancreas is spongy and extends horizontally across the abdomen. The small intestine is part of the gastrointestinal tract between the stomach and the large intestine. Towards the end of the absorption of the food will be in the small intestine. It contains the duodenum, the duodenum, the ileum. The primary function of the small intestine is to absorb nutrients and minerals from food. Chemical digestion takes place mainly within the small intestine, and a lot of digestive enzymes are secreted. The pancreas and liver are transported via the pancreatic duct. These enzymes respond to the hormone cyclotocin. Secretion prompts the release of bicarbonate in the duodenum. Acids from the stomach create no damage. The large intestine is the final part of the gastrointestinal tract. It performs the duty of further absorbing water and nutrients and converts food into feces. The large intestine is considerably larger than the small. By converting food into feces, it absorbs vitamins produced by the bacteria in the gut. Chyme will enter the large intestine to the small intestine via the ileocecal sphincter. It will then pass through the cecum where the bacteria is mixed. The chyme is moved by peristalsis and bacteria to suggest substances that chyme cannot. Bacteria will then ferment and release vitamins K, B1, B2, B12 and biotin. The rectum is the final part of the gastrointestinal system that terminates at the anus. The rectum becomes large near the anus, where it forms the rectal ampulla. This is to act as a storehouse for feces temporarily. The fecal walls will expand, causing stress receptors to stimulate the urge to defecate. If this is delayed, constipation occurs. When the rectum becomes full, pressure to the canal walls causes it to dilate and expand, resulting in feces entering the canal. Mechanical digestion is a comparatively straightforward procedure. It entails the physical breakdown of food without altering its chemical composition. This takes place in the mouth through mastication. Chemical digestion, on the other hand, is a complicated process that breaks food down into chemical constituents, which are then absorbed by the body's cell. Food molecules with larger molecular weights must be broken down into subunits small enough to be absorbed by the alimentary canal lining. Enzymes do this by hydrolysis. The optimum condition for enzymes to have the catalytic reaction is body temperature, which is around 37 degrees Celsius. The optimal pH conditions for enzymes are shown here in this table. Amylase is an enzyme that helps break down starch into simpler sugars such as maltose. This enzyme is produced by the salivary glands, pancreas and small intestine, and is found in the mouth and small intestines. Pepsin is found in the stomach and serves to digest proteins from ingested food. Constitutional food groups are made up of 5 groups. In order to function and produce the energy required by the human body needs nutrients provided by food. For a healthy and balanced diet, it must include at least one of the food groups. Group 1, meat, fish and eggs. These provide high quality proteins and amino acids essential for cell growth and renewal. Their intake provide B vitamins such as iron, which is easily absorbed by the body's cell, although care must be taken as they are rich in cholesterol and saturated fats, which, if introduced in excess, can cause metabolic disease. Group 2, milk and derivatives. It includes all types of milk, including condensed milk or powdered milk, and all processing derivatives such as yogurt, dairy products and cheeses. Milk is a necessary food in our diet from the first month of life, covering the necessary energy for growth. It's rich in proteins with high biological fats, easily digestible sugars, vitamins and minerals. Group 3, which is cereals. Rice, corn, millet, barley, oats, rye, wheat are the cereals that represent this group. Wheat or grain are divided in durum wheat, which gives rise to semolina, with large granules used to produce pasta. Soft wheat, from which white flours are obtained and produce bread. Starch used in bakery preparations. Group 5, seasoning fats. It includes animal fats of vegetable origin, butter, olive oil and seeds, margarine, lard. Many of the nutritional characteristics of oil are due to its most represented constitution, oleic acid, which have a protective action against cardiovascular disease. Extra virgin olive oil has an acidity of less than 1% received from the pressing of high quality olives without being subject to chemical manipulations. And water transports nutrients, hydrates, supports chemical reactions, replaces fluid loss, supports muscle activity, rids the body of waste through urine, optimal metabolic rate and optimise energy level. To summarise, we've learnt how the digestive system works and how many components play a key part in this process. We've also looked at what enzymes and their optimal conditions are and how important they are for the human health. Finally, we've learnt what balanced diet looks like and how important of having one. Thank you for listening.